Today we are looking at the TUXEDO OS 4. So here is the boot menu. So let me quickly boot it in the live boot. So this is the latest version of TUXEDO OS, and the ISO file has a lot of changes like a desktop environment, and also it's based on Ubuntu. So I'm going to show you all those changes as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So here is our welcome screen. So for the desktop layout, it's going to take like a few more seconds. So I'm not going to trim or I'm not going to speed up anything here. So you should be getting the exact speed of the booting process. And also I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with a 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So the user experience will be completely different when you install the Linux distro on the bare metal. So right now it's a virtual machine. I'm going to show you all the changes and also how it's going to perform in the virtual machine. But try to expect this, it's going to be performing way better on the bare metal. So sometimes there will be same issues in the virtual machines and also in the bare metal. So you need to understand these common things or also the basic things. So it should be good. So this is the latest version. It's been like almost a few months after the TUXEDO OS 3. So this is the latest version. I think it's like almost like a 6-7 months. So I made a lot of videos on the TUXEDO OS 3, 4 and 2, all those things. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out in my channel. And also I'll be posting like 2 videos daily without missing. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. So there will be some days like if we don't have any topic, then I'm not going to make 2 videos. I'm just going to make a video, because if there is no topic, I can't make any video on that. So right now there are a lot of topics like a Linux Lite. I already made a Linux Lite video 7.2, which is Galenia. And also about the Fedora 41. I didn't make a Fedora 41 stable release, but I made like a beta version, daily builds and all those things with the desktop spins, all the desktop spins of Fedora 41. I already made everything. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out. But for the stable release of Fedora 41, if you want to watch that video, I'm going to post that video after like a few hours, because today I'll be posting 2 videos. So there will be some gap between 2 videos because I need to make edit and post that video, and also make all the thumbnails and all those things. So that's the reason there will be some 4-5 hours of gap. So if you don't want to wait, you just can subscribe and turn on notification. As soon as the video is posted, you should be getting the notification and you can watch the video. So here is the welcome screen or the desktop layout loaded. So I didn't stop talk because of this. So you should be seeing all the booting process throughout the video. So I don't trim or I don't edit anything. So that's the time it took, almost like a 2.5 minutes, I guess, 1.5 to 2 minutes like that. So it will be completely different in the bare metal. So you don't need to judge it just on the booting process. It will be completely different on the different PCs. So here I am choosing the American English language. So there are plenty of languages available for this TUXEDO OS. So I'm going to click on next. So here you can choose the location. I'm using a VPN, so there will be some random location every time when I post. So here you can choose the map. You can choose the map for location, or you can choose the drop down menu here. So choose whatever you want. So I'm going to keep everything as default so we can get the stable things here. So I'm going to keep everything as a default. And for the keyboard, my keyboard is a Dell, but it always says like a generic 105. So you can switch it. You can switch the keyboard here if you want to try to test your keyboard. So again, these are all the same things, so there is nothing complicated here. So the main thing is the X11, the current standard. So if you want to go with the advanced, you can go with the advanced settings and you can choose the VLAN here. So you get both the options. So this is the standard one and the modern replacement for the X11. So I'm going to choose the VLAN right now. So in the previous video, I chose the X11. So it was the older version, which was like a TUXEDO OS 3. So right now I'm choosing the VLAN right here. So we get a lot of new changes in this distro, like a latest Ubuntu 24.04 LTS Noble Numbet. It's based on latest Ubuntu. And about the latest kernel, you also get the latest kernel, and about the frameworks and all those things about the KDE Plasma desktop environment. So you should be getting the KDE Plasma desktop environment as the default desktop environment for the TUXEDO OS. So you should be getting the 6.1.5 and the Linux kernel, I think like a 6.11. So I just read the few news from the Linux market. So I'm going to go through all those things on my own, and I'm going to show you everything, whatever I see on the desktop layout. So it's going to take a lot of time, like 4-5 minutes to completely load up the desktop layout, because this thing is going to set up for a few more seconds or maybe minutes. So you need to have patience to run this type of Linux distros. Not every distros take this much of time. Sometimes the distros take, and also the stable ISO files will take lesser time when compared to the beta versions or the development versions. So you need to understand these common things, so you don't need to worry about anything. You just need to have some patience. So if it's like a stop like a 33, it's going to work. So you just need to have some patience, that's it. So it's not like a frozen or anything like that. It's just going to take a few seconds, and as you can see, I was talking and here you should be getting the desktop layout. So you just need to have some patience and everything will be working fine. So this is the small things you need to understand, so you should be getting everything running properly. So here is our TUXEDO OS, and about the system requirements, it's going to consume a bit of more when compared to other Linux distros, because KDE Plasma usually will consume a bit more resources. So you basically get most of the KDE Plasma desktop environment in this distro, and some other things from the TUXEDO computers like a control center and all those things. You don't get any bunch of applications in this distro. So I'm going to go through all those things. So before touching anything, we're going to open the system monitor and see how the resources are consuming. So RAM consumption, CPU consumption. Let's first go through all those things and we can change the display settings later. So here it's consuming like a 1.6 GB of RAM in the virtual machine. So it will be completely different in the bare metal. It's going to be consuming a bit lesser in the bare metal. And about the system requirements, I'm going to provide everything. So or else I'm going to show you everything in this video itself. So 1.6, and CPU is pretty much under 40-45% like that. So here is like a networks and the system, TUXEDO OS, KDE Plasma version. This is the latest version, 6.1.5. I think there is like a 6.2 beta version also. I provide everything like a news information I'm going to provide in the community page in the YouTube, and other things I'm going to make a video however. So the Qt version 6.7.2. Here is our TUXEDO OS 4. So this is the latest version. So the ISO file was released a few hours ago, and the frameworks version you get the 6.6.0. About the applications, I didn't touch any of the applications, so you should be seeing the basic or the as soon as you boot up, you should be seeing some applications running in the background. So here is the history. CPU pretty much stable throughout the 60 seconds or a minute. So this is a minute line or a 60 seconds graph. About the process, so you should be seeing all the process right now. So it's going to take a few seconds, and here is our full process. So this is how it's going to perform. So the user experience, it's a bit laggy. So it's quite common in the virtual machines when you use the KDE Plasma desktop environment. So it doesn't happen every time. Just for the specific version of the KDE Plasma it happens. But if you want to run it in the virtual machine, always choose the VirtualBox instead of the VMware, because VirtualBox will be playing everything properly without any issues. So when I try to run the Ubuntu distro, the virtual machine, which is a VMware, it's going to have some issues. It doesn't let me properly run it. So it's going to have like a freezing and everything, things happens like that in the VMware, but in the VirtualBox everything runs properly. So that's my point of view and that's my opinion. It should be different for different users. So you need to keep understanding these common things. So you get the system monitor 6.1.5. So I'm going to keep everything like this, and let's first open the console. Let's get some information and then we can go to the official website and get the downloading, and also some, if we have any release notes, I'm going to provide everything, or I'm going to show you everything in the video itself, or else I'm going to provide everything in the description. So the console version, let's check the console version first and we can go through all the other things. 24.08.1. So let's first try the NeoFetch. Just type in NeoFetch. So it's going to provide some information here. So TUXEDO OS 4, here is my CPU. So host, Intel Corporation. So this is a new thing in the NeoFetch, I guess. So usually it doesn't show everything like this. Kernel, you get the 6.11. So I'm going to show you also the Linux kernel website, and I'm going to show you what is like a 6.11, whether it's a stable version or any other version. So this until 6.6 is the long-term version, which is LTS, and after that it will be like a stable version. And after that 6.12 will be the RC, because right now the 6.12 is a release candidate version. I'm going to go through all those things after we open the browser. So uptime is almost 9 minutes. Packages 2341 dpkg. Shell bash version you get is a 5.2.21. Here is my monitor resolution, which is 1920 x 1080. Here is the Plasma version, and I'm using a Wayland, so Plasma 6.1.5. Here is like a window manager, theme, icons, the terminal, it's a console, my CPU. Here is the RAM, it's consuming like a 1.8 GB. So let me type in cat /etc/issue. So here you should be getting the TUXEDO OS 4. So here is the Ubuntu version, which is 24.04.1 LTS, which is Ubuntu version Noble Numbet. So I already made a video of Ubuntu 24.04.1 LTS version. If you want to check that out, you can check it out in my channel. So let me type in inxi-sv8. So this will grab complete distro information, so we can go through all the important information, and after that I'm going to show you the downloading process. So everything is loaded right now, so I'm going to go through some important things. So if I miss anything, you can just pause the video and read everything. So first let's go with the system. Host is a TUXEDO OS, kernel version 6.11, it's a 64-bit. Compiler GCC version is 13.2.0, you don't get the 14 version here. And what else we have? The desktop environment, I already showed you the desktop environment. Qt version, right now it's not available, so here is the version 6.7.2. and when you scroll it down, you should be also seeing the version in the terminal itself. So the frameworks version 6.6.0, I already mentioned here itself. And the distro TUXEDO OS, it's based on Ubuntu 24.04 LTS Noble Numbet. So this is like a VMware information, which is clearly unnecessary for the video. Here is the memory. I'm using 8 GB of RAM, available is 7.7 GB and used is almost 2.1 GB. So here is like a vulnerabilities, which is clearly unnecessary. CPU flag. CPU already mentioned, i5-1240p is my CPU. So these are like a vulnerabilities which is clearly unnecessary for the video. So now let's go with the graphics. Here is our graphics. VMWGFX version is 2.20.0. and what else we have here? The display Wayland server Xorg version 1.21.1.11. Xwayland version you get is 24.1.2. and what else we have? EGL 1.5, OpenGL 4.5. and what else we have here? The Mesa version. So you get the latest Mesa version, which is 24.2.4. so this is also the new thing here. And the Vulkan you get the version 1.3.275. Here is like a LLVM Pipe version 17.0.6. So let's continue with the audio information now. So here is the ELSA Pipewire version is 1.2.4. what else we have? The network. So if I miss anything, you can just pause the video and read everything on your own. So here is like a repos, sensors, which is clearly unnecessary for the video. Process 310, uptime 11 minutes. Wake-ups 0. Systemd, init systemd version is 255. Compiler GCC already said. Shell bash version already showed. And INXI version is 3.3.34. So here is all the information about the distro. So we got the graphics, audio, every information, what it's based on, the kernel information, everything. So let's first close the terminal. Now let's go to the browser and I'm going to show you the downloading process now. So usually the Firefox browser will take like a maybe maximum of 15 seconds to load up on the screen. So it's pretty much fast. So let's first check the browser information and we're going to go through all the website and downloading process, everything later. So let's first let me make it bigger. So keep an eye on the CPU and RAM throughout the video so you can judge it on your own whether to use this distribution or not. So the version you get is 132. So this is the stable and the latest version of the Firefox. So you get the latest applications in the TUXEDO OS 4. and also the ISO was released a few hours ago, so you should be getting everything updated here, or updated applications. So I'm going to open all the important websites, and I'm going to continue from there. So here I opened every important tabs. So about support, you should be getting all the distro information and also some browser information. So the kernel, it says like a Linux 6.11. I already mentioned that. So let's go with the Linux kernel website. So just type in like a Linux kernel. The first link will obviously the official website. So the RAM went almost like a 3.4 GB. CPU went almost like a 60-70%. So it's pretty much unstable, and also you should be seeing a major lag here. So I don't know I'm going to continue the video or not. So I'm going to make video like that. So the stable version is 6.11.5. So you get the 6.11 version here. So it's a stable version right now. About the Linux kernel, here is the stable version. So you can see the stable version is 6.11, and here is like a long-term versions and mainline, which is 6.12. So this is the release candidate version. So if you don't know what is stable, long-term, RC and all those things, here is a complete description of the Linux kernel. And in order to get the Linux kernel information, you just need to type in like a uname-r, and you should be seeing the kernel information here, and search the kernel here. So whatever the version you have, you just need to search it here, and you should be getting all the information. And about the LTS version, here is like a end of life of the long-term versions. And about the TUXEDO OS downloading process, so this is the official website. So you just need to type in like a TUXEDO OS in the search engine, and the obviously first link will be the official website. So if you don't know what is the TUXEDO OS, here is all the information about the TUXEDO OS. So here, go through all those important things, and if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. So it's a well-known distribution. Before that, you already know the TUXEDO Computers. So it's a well-known distribution. So if you want any information, you can get all the information right here. So you just need to click on download TUXEDO OS. So right now there is no release notes information in the official website itself, but I'm going to provide everything in the description. So in order to download, you just need to click on the download, and it will take you to the different page. So here is the official computers, or the mirrors. So here you should be seeing the version TUXEDO OS 4. So this is the stable release, and here is the current ISO file. So it's performing like this in the virtual machine. I don't know how it's going to perform in the bare metal. So it's better if you're trying, if you want to try this distribution, always try it in the live boot first. And if everything is working fine, then go with the installation, or else you can do whatever you want. So there are a lot of other distributions alternative are already available. So if you have like a low-end PC, I don't think it's going to work on the 1 GB of RAM. So even if it's it's going to be having like a bit laggy in the user experience. So it's not a lightweight Linux distribution. So that's the reason I'm mentioning it again. So it's not a lightweight distribution. So you need to understand this. If you have like a 2 GB or 4 GB of RAM, then try it, or else I don't think it's going to run it on the 1 GB of RAM. So in order to download the ISO file, just click on the ISO file here. Always check the date and also the name of the ISO. So here you should be seeing TUXEDO OS 4 2024. Here is the date and all the information. So that's the downloading process. So about the installation, you don't need to worry about the installation. It's pretty much same as every Linux distribution. So there is nothing complicated in the installer. So I'm going to show you some basic things, and I'm going to show you the other things. Choose the language first, click on next. Choose the partition. Wherever you want to install, you can install as like a single boot or the dual boot option. If you want, you can encrypt your system. So there is no encryption here. So I think you just need to use the default things here. So here are the options. Click on next. Here you should be creating the user account, which is same. And after that, installation will take like a few minutes, like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It depends on the PC. If you have like a good end PC, it's going to performing. The installation will take lesser time. If you have like a low end PC, it's going to take a bit more. So about the other things, the pre-installed applications, you get basically most of the KDE Plasma desktop environment, and you just get some TUXEDO OS applications. So that's the only difference here. So here is like a control center, which is added from the TUXEDO computers. So here is all those things. So I already showed in every video of this control center. So I don't want to waste any time here. So these are all the same things. If you want to toggle anything, you can toggle. And if you want to customize, you can customize according to your wish. So I'm going to keep everything as default. And I'm going to do final thing is the do a stress test. So you don't have any other things. So I already showed you everything. And the main changes of Tuxedo OS 4, I already showed you the audio, graphics, every information like Linux kernel and all those things. So those were the main changes. So I'm just going to do a stress test here by opening a bunch of applications to see whether there will be any crashes or anything like that. So I'm going to open some bunch of applications, some random applications here. And let's see how the RAM consumption and CPU will be. So we opened a few applications here and let's check the resources. So it's consuming like a 3.5 GB. CPU is pretty much unstable throughout the video. And if anything happens, then there will be in the background, it's going to ruin my audio. Because most of the distros nowadays is I'm recording with the OBS, so it's whatever the lag happens in the VMware, so it's going to affect my audio in the recording. So you need to understand these common things. If any part of the audio is like a laggy, then it's going to be having issue from the VMware. So whenever the VMware or the distro has some major lag, then it's going to ruin my OBS recording. Audio, only the audio thing, it's not going to mess any video recording, but it's going to just mess the audio recording. So not like a major different duration, it's going to ruin like almost like a 10-15 seconds. I hope everything is properly recording right now. So we opened all the few applications here. So right now it's consuming like a 3.9 GB. CPU is like this. So let's check making the let's maximize this thing, and let's go through all the applications here. So here are all the applications with the RAM consumption, and here is the history. As you can see, you just need to ignore the some high graph here and there because we opened all the applications at once, so that's the reason there will be some high graph. But after opening applications, you should be seeing the stable graph. In this case, from beginning there was like a major and some minor lags throughout the video. So I don't know how to say that. It's pretty much unstable in my point of view. If it's worked properly for you, then it's okay. But right now the CPU, as you can see, so that's the reason I always say that it's a good opinion to try it on your own and judge it on your own. Don't blindly trust anyone on the internet, even if it's me. So this is how it's performing. So this is my point of view. So it's clearly up to you to decide whether to install it or not. So it's a well-known distribution, so there is no privacy issues from the Tuxedo OS. So that's the good point here. And when we switch the applications, whether we see any lag or anything, so I don't see any lag or any crashes or anything throughout the video, but there was like a major lag when I was switching the VMware to my OBS. So I was just checking whether it was recording properly or not. So there was like a completely major lag. So you need to understand this. I want to say every important things happened throughout the video. So that's the reason I'm mentioning everything. And it will be clearly up to you to judge whether to use it or not. I am going to say all my final thoughts throughout the video. So this is all the final thoughts. So about here you get the 3.0.20, and about the browser I already showed you get the latest stable version 132, and about the Dolphin you get the latest Dolphin manager. You already know how to customize all those things. So hidden items, so you know how to customize the Dolphin file manager. So there is no updates because this is the latest ISO file, so there is no updates here. 6.1.5. about the LibreOffice, so let me show you the about LibreOffice 24.2.6.2. So most of the things you get is the latest things in the Tuxedo OS 4. So this is how it performed. So I'm going to lastly show you the wallpapers, and about the settings you get the same KDE Plasma settings, so there is nothing changed. And the one thing about the Tuxedo wallpapers is whatever the wallpaper you choose, you should be seeing the Tuxedo OS watermark. So that's the kind of annoying thing. It's my point of view and it's for me. So you should be seeing every watermark in every wallpaper. Let me show you another one. So in this wallpaper, there is no Tuxedo OS logo, but most of the wallpapers you should be seeing some like this one watermark. So that's a pretty annoying thing. But other than that, everything is okay. There is no crashes or anything. But there is like a minor and also some major lag throughout the making process. So keep that in mind and judge it on your own. So I'm going to show you the logout screen and I'm going to end the video. So I think there is a password which is TUX. So username is same and the password is also same. So that's the live boot credentials. And about the desktop sessions, you get the X11 and the VLAN. And here is the virtual keyboard, which is pretty much good. So the password is TUX, and I think that's the end of the video. So if you want to check another video, I'll be posting after like a 4 or 5 hours. So it's better to subscribe and turn on the notification. And after you turn on the notification, you should be getting the video as soon as it's posted. And also, if you like the video, try to give the thumbs up button. So it's going to help the channel also. So thanks for watching. Peace out.